Every poor, rich are using or connected with ICT, but city governments are not leveraging the benefit of ICT. Let me give you an example. Yesterday, I had a vehicle, and then this guy said, "I need a cab. I need a cab for today." I said, "Why don't you, sir? Why are you wasting money? Go to Uber or Ole." The taxi driver said, "Why don't you download Uber and Ole? I'm not used to. Sorry." So uh, he said, "Why don't you use Uber or Ole?" Now that made me to think why we are not using Uber and Ole technology in solid waste management. I'm going to push in Hyderabad when I go back. It's already there, GPS enabled, but we can actually go one step further. When we can introduce emergency response system 108, same technology. Why can't we use it for garbage collection? Why can't we use for mobility? Why can't we use? It's all there in India. It's all actually we see every day. Every common man is impacted positively. There's so much of cynicism. We need to get rid of this cynicism like the way we are trying to get rid of this waste. And I would see a lot of solutions would come forth. Now, India has a distinct advantage in the current context of urbanization. What is called generally we talk about first mover advantage in technology space, in education space, in business space. But actually, we have what is called a late mover advantage. The technologies have matured. Sensor technologies used to cost in dollars. Now, the same sensor technology is now available in pennies. Bandwidth used to be in dollars. Now, bandwidth is available in the lowest possible, and it's going to come cheaper and cheaper in years to come. So, we need to capitalize if you want to really transform. I'm an entry point. I'm saying without governance, all this is not going to happen. Governance, leadership, these are very critical pieces. I'll come to that later because that's where I work. I work with civil servants, so that's where our major strength is. But I thought since the session is about technology, I would uh, pick up some examples with regard to technology. So we need to capitalize on the late mover advantage that we have in our cities because this technology is bypassing city governments, is bypassing city administration in a big way. Mobile subscription is increasing, but it's not being penetrated to the administration. Internet usage is increasing exponentially, but it's not effectively impacting the city administration in a big way. And that's what actually smart city framework is trying to, it's not the only solution, but it is one of the important aspect is to bring emerging technologies, ICT, into city management in service delivery. It's not something new. When we started, we made significant progress with regard to, Thane, Kalyan, Mumbai Corporation. They have set up ERP solutions for G2C services, grievance management systems, call centers. So in the earlier stage, we moved in that particular way. That's a starting phase. That is a citizen interface. We have done fairly good. Then we moved backwards and we made significant improvement. I won't say completely, but the processes, internal process of the organization. Because if a building permission has to be given, even now it is about 6 months to 1 year, full of corruption, complete corruption. If a commercial industrialist or entrepreneur wants to introduce a commercial building, it cannot be done smoothly. And we talk about ease of doing business. These are small points which actually hamper ease of doing business in India. So I think we are making significant progress on the internal process reengineering and ICT sitting on internal process. But what we have not made significant improvement, and that's where we need Siemens of the world, we need IBMs, we need Cisco's, we need all of us, is how do we bring in technology interventions and institutions particularly on the service delivery front, water supply, sanitation, garbage management, door-to-door collection. How do we get door-to-door collection, track efficiencies of door-to-door collection, which is actually a requirement legally. So this is the context within which Smart City program, we hope, is going to take off and hope to see in the next 3 to 5 years, not only in service delivery, but there will be a significant change on the mobility side, significant change on the economy side, significant change on the governance side. Governance could be citizen interface with the traders and business community. So we would see an integrated approach. Mr. Valuri talked about this morning. Very, very profound, very important. This piecemeal innovations cannot get us the best unless we integrate city as an entity. As a citizen, I don't care who provides me services. I want a single face of the government dealing with me, and that integration doesn't happen. In fact, just give you one example. We were trying to integrate various departments in the city of Hyderabad. Now, the issue there was property tax collection. The issue there was water bill collection. Now, when a citizen breaks a law, there is what is called e-challan system, which is very common whenever traffic signal is somebody violates traffic signal. Now, the police has a separate department. They have nothing to do with municipal administration. Now, how do you integrate them? How do you integrate police and municipal administration? So if a citizen breaks the law and he pays a challan, he not only pays a challan, the data comes out on his PDA of the police guy that this household has not paid electricity bill, he has not paid water bill, he has not paid sanitation bill, and he has not paid property tax bill. Now, what is happening? A police personnel has become the collection agent for corporation, collection agent for electricity department, collection agent for number of. And this is what we need to integrate. Efficiencies goes up. We can deploy limited people, but efficiencies will go up. So this integration is something is very, very critical, and that's what Mr. Valuri was talking about, but he was talking about it at a very much more profound level of integration of resources. I'll come to a couple of examples. So this ICT application in urban management, bits and pieces are readily available. We have, in fact, compiled material, literature, processes, the whole technology specifications. Whoever is interested, we would be very happy to share. Be it in the area of water management, SCADA systems, non-revenue water management, wastewater, solid waste. So there are different applications, pieces are available right now. The question is, how do you integrate them? And that's what is a very critical piece. Let me give you examples of parking. Trying to look at, when I went to, I think one of those countries, I don't remember, one of the Taiwanese CTO, Chief Technology Officer of this local government, he said, you can see from wherever he is, a citizen can see where the nearest parking space is available. It's the smallest application. We can't get it right. There's parking all over, and I'm coming to this zone, and I want to know where the parking is available, and I want to book in advance. मेरे को space चाहिए बस. उसके लिए मैं पैसे भी तैयार ready. I'm ready to pay money. Now this is the smallest application. And if you give this challenge to some of the students, forget about some of the experts here sitting on here, they would crack it in no time. Like that, we have examples like introduced in Trivandrum for waste collection, RFID technology. The city government wants to know what is the door collection efficiency, solid waste. Just put a swiping method. It's costing about 15 to 20 rupees per household. It's already introduced in Warangal, one of the towns where we are working, I said. So these pieces of technologies are available for toilet cleaning to sanitation, for security and disaster. Give you one example, which is many of you are aware of. If you're not, then for the benefit of those, it's a repeat. Now, building approval is a painful process. I will take another 5 minutes and then close. Now, why should I, as a citizen or as an entrepreneur, should go to the city hall and say, this is my plan, kindly give me permission, I'm complying with everything. So there's something called Auto DCR, Auto Development Control Regulation. Now this is what we need to push. What does Auto DCR does? It basically codifies all the complicated building approval systems that are embedded in the rules, building rules. And as an architect or as a builder, I just prepare an AutoCAD map, load it onto the system, like the way e-tenders are loaded now. It verifies against the building approval codes, because now the technology is available to read even a PDF version. And then it gives a NOC, no objection certificate, in the same minute. A building approval plan takes 1 year. We have done the business process re-engineering of a number of local governments, including Hyderabad Municipal Metropolitan Development Authority. 1 year of building approval. Such a colossal waste of money and resource can be given at the same time. And field visits, site visit can happen later. So it is like a self-assessment system. Income tax system works on self-assessment. Nobody visits me unless I am a big defaulter. Why should property tax, why should building approval system should be carried with 10 different visits by 10 different people? We can think about it. I'm not saying we should, everybody is right and they are all complying with the building. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having such incidents like what happened yesterday. It's a complete criminal situation of 7, 8 people dying because of fire. It's a complete violation, no doubt about it. There is a compliance issue. But those who are genuinely complaining, we should not allow them to really default. So this is one example. The second example is live example, is from Rajkot. Now every child needs vaccination. 15 साल तक बच्चे को vaccination देना पड़ेगा. But after 3-4 years, सब लोग भूलते हैं. Now, a smart EDP operator developed a vaccination alert system. Whenever a birth certificate is given to a child, he takes the number of that poor family or even rich family. That mobile number is fed into the system when they give a birth certificate. The system automatically sends alerts 1 week in advance, 3 days in advance on the same day about vaccination in Gujarati. आपका बच्चे को vaccination देना पड़ेगा. And that goes on automatically, more than 2 lakh subscriptions. Crowdsourcing is another very fascinating tool. If there is a pothole, that information can be, municipality need not collect this information. Crowd can actually fed this information and it can be helped in fixing the problem. This is very, very common. Pimpri Chinchwad does a lot of this activity through crowdsourcing. Now, if you are creating a new building, what is the impact of that building on the hydraulics of that area? Flooding is going to happen because we are creating a building in the catchment. But if you want to simulate it, tools are available to plug the building and see what is the impact of that building in the whole area. So this is the power of ICT. Once you put in contours, once you put in background information, so we can actually simulate कि आगे क्या होने वाला है. So this is what we are working in Hyderabad. Simple example, just then I will close. Now, every citizen, when they drive down, we experience a red light after some time. Then after 2 minutes, one more red light. After 3 more minutes, one more red light. Our life revolves around crossing these lights. Now, why can't we use, instead of a static system, can we think of a dynamic signaling system? So based on the congestion on the road, the duration of the signal would change. And that's a concept. It's very common. So we are now working on a 250 signal corridors, about 250 critical signals, where our ambition is to at least give a commuter 8 signal bandwidth. It is like a ambulance going straight. And people, you see a lot of people following ambulance just to get rid of. So why can't we use technology to give that experience of green signal across the corridor, having a dynamic system? Dynamic is based on the traffic density, the signal can be synchronized. So there are umpteen examples. Toilets. We don't need, toilet cleaning is a big activity. Why can't we have sensor-based toilet cleaning, which is very common now in India? This company called Eram, which does, sensor-based toilet. Nobody mans it. There's also women toilets, men toilets, children toilets. They clean, self-cleaning toilet systems. So technology can play a very important role. Now, this is a very fascinating example, but given the time constraint, this is from Barcelona. When Barcelona had these Olympics, the city had, it's like a bowl shape. There was a lot of flooding all the time, like Mumbai, like Hyderabad, like many other cities. So the easiest way engineers think of is dig open the roads, change the size of the pipeline, and solve the problem. And we are shifting the problem, typically, like a flyover. So what they did, they created what is called rainwater catchments under the ground. And they have a met station. The met station predicts the rainfall, and then there's a gate on the road which opens up whenever the water level raises a particular level. So basically the idea is to prevent water logging. Pani ko pura ground ke andar lena hai. This is a catchment. Once the rainfall recedes, the water is pumped for treatment. So there are technology solutions can play a very, very critical role. And this is what is actually connected system that we are looking at, one of the pilots in cities. This is a gift I would skip. Now, finally, just like to say a quiz for all of you. I just run through for 20 seconds some of the pictures. So, which city is this? Which city is this? Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is Little India in Singapore. This is absolutely, Singapore is the most regulated city. Hello, sir. Most regulated city. But unless we inculcate smartness, people were talking about people, I think we need to invest. We haven't invested. I'm sorry to say we haven't invested. Let's not blame citizens just like that. We haven't invested. So we need to invest in citizens in order to ensure that technologies are going to be used and service delivery. Apple has invested in Citizen. That's why the Apple